Hello student friends, I am back again. Uh, Today I will speak on characteristics of developing or underdeveloped countries. Before discussing the characteristics in details, I would like to introduce you to the concept of underdevelopment. Uh, since the end of World War II, economists in both Western countries and the third world countries have taken particular interest in the problems of relatively backward countries, and yet there is no definition of underdevelopment which will be universally acceptable. Uh, in debates on problems of economic underdevelopment, occupational distribution of population is often mentioned as objective criterion to divide countries into developed and underdeveloped. No doubt it is a useful criterion, but at the same time, from the point of view of analytical regard, it is not completely reliable. It is widely held that the countries in which the primary sector, agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry, etc., provides employment to a large number of population of labor force are underdeveloped. This notion has certainly have some objective basis. If someone asks you what is underdevelopment and what you have to say, I have written on the PowerPoint screen. Underdevelopment refers to the low level of development characterized by low real per capita income, widespread poverty, low level of literacy, low life expectancy, and underutilization of resources. Okay. If you notice here, you can find that in this sentence of underdevelopment, I have incorporated a number of dimensions or variables. Therefore, the line written on the PowerPoint screen is not based on single criterion. You can see on the PowerPoint screen the world map of advanced countries, in transition countries, less developed countries, and least developed countries. This map is based on 2019 data, and in the map you can see that the blue colored or the dark blue colored countries are advanced countries or advanced economies. That side. The cyan color regions or light blue color regions are still in transition. Okay. The orange colored countries are less developed countries, and the red color countries. You can see that the red color countries are mainly located in the African continent. Okay. The red colored countries are least developed countries. Now I would like to discuss the characteristics of less developed countries or developing countries. On the PowerPoint screen, I have mentioned 8 important characteristics of developing economies. They are low level of income, underutilization of resources, chronic shortage of capital, alarming population growth, problem of unemployment, shortage of technology, poor infrastructure, and finally problem of poverty. So let us discuss one by one. The first characteristic is low level of income. The prevailing level of income in underdeveloped countries is very low because of their extremely low level of production. 2/3 of world's people who live in these countries receive only 1/3 of the total world income generated. Thus, the per capita income in the underdeveloped countries is very low as compared with that of the developed countries. Although there are wide differences in per capita income within the underdeveloped world, still it can be maintained that the low income and underdevelopeddness tend to move together. Next, let us change it. Our second point is underutilization of resources. Underutilization of physical resources is a major problem of developing countries. Generally speaking, an underdeveloped country is quite rich in natural resources and physical resources. It may have even an abundant supply of manpower resources, but the main problem is that such resources either lie dormant or are not fully utilized due to several reasons, maybe because of the deficiency of capital resources, lack of technique, or the inadequacy of demand. Next point we have to discuss, and that is chronic shortage of capital. And chronic shortage of capital. Underdeveloped countries generally suffer from chronic deficiency of capital, which is largely responsible for low per capita output in these countries. Shortage of capital is both cause and effect of low level of productivity in the underdeveloped areas. Per capita availability of capital in these countries is very low as compared to that of the developed countries. Next, another important feature is high rate of population growth. Most of the underdeveloped countries are generally suffering from overpopulation. The Malthusian fear of excessive population growth is really significant to many poor countries. Most of these countries are in the high population growth potential stage with high birth rate, showing no tendency to decline and sharply declining the death rate. The death rate in these countries is also very high, but it is showing a tendency towards steep decline due to the extension of medical facilities and control of diseases. On the whole, we can say that this is a major problem for developing countries. Problem of unemployment. Problem of unemployment. This is the another feature of these economies, developing economies. Widespread unemployment, particularly among the unskilled workers, is an universal phenomenon in the third world. Bulk of rural as well as urban unemployment in these countries is involuntary due to high levels of poverty in these countries. Markets for industrial products are small and provide little incentive to the industries to expand their activities. Faced with lack of effective demand, industries grow haltingly and offer too few new job opportunities to the continuously increasing number of working population. So we can observe the situation, almost similar kind of situation in our country also, because in our country also we are facing problem of unemployment. So this is one of the major problems of developing economies. Next is shortage of technology. In underdeveloped countries, over a wide range of industrial activity, production techniques are backward. Often, lack of research and development is blamed for the technological backwardness in these countries. In certain cases, weak communication system between the research institutes and the producers is delivered to be the cause of sorry state of affairs in this regard. And next, let me change the slide. This is another feature or problem, poor infrastructure. This is a major problem. This is a major feature of developing economies. Infrastructure is very important for economic growth or economic development. Okay, we know. But unfortunately, in case of infrastructural facilities like power, transport and communication, then socio-economic overheads, these type of economies are still at a backward stage in comparison to the developed economies. Finally, the problem of poverty. The extent of poverty, absolute poverty, is an important dimension of the problem of income distribution in developing countries. At relatively lower level of GNP per capita, large income inequalities as they exist in the developing countries of Asia, Africa and Latin America have resulted in widespread poverty. The poverty problem could perhaps be overcome in these countries with a more equitable distribution of income. In near future, if developing countries wish to wipe out poverty, they have no choice except to improve the income distribution so as to ensure a minimum standard of living in terms of calorie intake and nutrition level, clothing, sanitation, health, education, and so on. With this, we came to the end of this class. If you have any question, please post to me. Thank you. Thank you so much.